Morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day. So, thank you so much, first of all, for giving so much love to my first video. I'm really happy that it got so much of appreciation. Actually, it was just a humble effort on my part, and I just thought, maybe there are things that need to be conveyed. Anyway, moving on. So today this will be the second part of our constipation series, and I'll be talking about something which is getting neglected or is not being done properly. I'm not sure why this is happening, but I think toilet training is the single biggest crux for which we are having trouble with so much of constipation in children. More often than not, when the patient comes to me and I go through the history, the single biggest factor that stands out is a lack of a potty schedule or a proper toilet training, as we call it. Diet, of course, plays a big role in this, and I'll be talking about the diet part in the next talk of mine, which will be the part 3 of constipation series. But before that, I think what is really important for us to understand is that a child needs to have a proper potty schedule. See, traditionally, when you talk about toilet training, I think the first thing that comes to everybody's mind is achieving control of both bowel and bladder habits. But that's actually a reflex. Each child will achieve control of bowel, that is his stool and his urine, by the time he's about 2.5-3 years old. The urine control comes first. He's able to tell you that I need to go and pee, and he will either pee in the pants after telling you, or he will go to the toilet and start doing that. The stool control, potty control, comes a little later. Now the potty control comes somewhere around 3 years to 3.5 years. Now the common misconception is that achieving control is the same as toilet training. It's not. All right. Excuse me. Every child who is otherwise normal and not having any organic issues is going to achieve control by 3.5 years, 4 years of age maximum. But that's not toilet training. The purpose of toilet training is to ensure that the child develops a regular potty and urine schedule. All right. More often than not, like I said, I've seen children holding on their urine, holding on to their potties, as I described in the last talk of mine of how they hold potty. At the same time, they develop this habit of holding urine as well. They'll be sitting in front of the television or sitting with the mobile phone, watching their favorite cartoon or playing a game or something, and even if the urge to urinate comes, they would not go and do it. Now, in this era of this extremely distracted generation, I think it's extremely important that we address this problem actively. See, in the olden times, it was not that difficult. Our generation, maybe a generation before us, somehow most of the kids ended up developing a healthy potty habit, including for stool and for urine. But this generation, like I said, is just too distracted. So, as a parent, I think you need to be a little bit more proactive. Just achieving control is no longer sufficient. We need to actively train them into developing a healthy toilet habits. Let's put it that way. Developing healthy toilet habits. For that, I think what you need to keep in mind is no amount of aggression, no amount of coercion on your part is going to work. Let's face it. The more you try to force a child to do something, the less likely he's going to do it. And on top of that, he's going to develop a resentment towards that act. And he would purposely not do it, either to defy you or to antagonize you. So that's not how we plan a toilet training schedule for a child. Most of the times they would come to me and say, he doesn't like sitting in the potty. That's perfectly acceptable. Let's face it. See, bathroom is the place where a child spends the minimum amount of time of his entire day. It's an alien environment for him. There are no distractions for him there. There are all sorts of fixtures and mirrors put up there. So it's not really a very comfortable place for a child to go. On top of that, it's absolutely not a place where you would like to sit alone. It's hot, there is no fan there, there are weird smells that come from the bathrooms, of the disinfectant, of the soap and all. So a child naturally is averse to going into the bathroom. So what you need to do is, first of all, make it a event where you go together right from the beginning, from 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, when you are starting potty training. Now please do not start potty training before that. Okay, it's extremely important that the child achieves urine and stool control before we start potty training. It has been known, it has been seen through a lot of studies, aggressive potty control can actually worsen the situation. So please do not start 1.5, 2 years, 2.5 years. That's not the time to pressurize the child into toilet training. Wait till 3 years of age. And please remember, toilet training is a process. It takes time. An average child will take about 3 to 6 months from the day you start potty training to actually get potty trained and develop a healthy schedule. So have patience, be gentle, talk to your child, and definitely don't coerce them or force them to do something against their will. Alright, so how you start off is, it's very simple. The power of suggestion is something that is extremely underestimated when it comes to children. You need to suggest a child. Every time he passes urine in his diaper or in his shorts or on the bed, don't shout at him. Show your disapproval, no doubt. Tell him, oh, you've done it here, but we were supposed to do it in the bathroom. Start off that way. In a few days, the child will get conditioned to it, will listen to you. One fine day, he will simply get convinced and say, okay, fine, let's go to the toilet. But make sure that somebody accompanies him. I know it's a little hard work on your part. Today's generation, both working parents, is a little difficult to do. But as long as you are in the house, make sure that you accompany him to the toilet. Don't let him go there alone. Go there, stand, encourage him to pee in the toilet pot, tell him to finish, make sure he washes his hands. I know he probably is not touching that part right now, but if you don't inculcate the habit of washing hands after doing urine, he probably will not develop it for the rest of his life. This is the time we want them to develop good habits. So make it into a play thing for him. Okay, we go to the toilet, we pass urine, we come back, we wash our hands, we dry our hands, and then we come out. So you start with the urine part. That, I think, would be a little easier to achieve. The difficulty comes with potty. Now, why the difficulty comes is for two reasons. One, the child has to sit in an uncomfortable position. Two, today's distracted generation cannot sit in one place for more than 5 minutes. They need some sort of a sensory stimulation, which is what we are unable to provide them in the toilet. So the best thing to do again would be, first, right in the beginning, at about 2.5, 3 years of age, buy a potty, a plastic potty. Toy potties are available. Make him sit in the drawing room itself. So the first thing is to convince him to sit and do potty and not do it in the diaper. Once you have achieved that, now that can be kept in his favorite room. He can have his toys with him. He's sitting on the pot, doing his potty, and at the same time playing with his toys. It is also essential to inculcate the habit that he sits for at least 10 minutes. See, defecation or stool passage happens in 3 stages. The first stage is the first reflex, where you get an urge and you pass whatever is there in the rectum and the lower rectum part of it. The second urge follows after about 2 to 3 minutes. But after that, the third phase comes after about 7 to 8 minutes. I know you may be finding it very odd. How can that be? Simple thing. Tomorrow when you pass potty, sit for 10 minutes and see how many phases you pass potty. This is how it is. So a minimum of 10 minutes have to be spent on the pot. This may be in the plastic potty that is sitting in the drawing room or living room. And once he's become comfortable on that, and he agrees to it, okay, I want to do potty, give me my pot, I want to sit on it. Once he's achieved that, slowly shift that pot into the bathroom. He will see, you can't change all the parameters together in a child. He'll become uncomfortable with that. So we bring about the change gradually. Make him sit on the pot, let him do his potty, but then shift it to the toilet. Tell him how you convince him, saying, see, everybody else in the house goes into the bathroom. Now you're a big boy, you need to go into the bathroom. So slowly you shift him into the bathroom. Once he's comfortable sitting on his own plastic pot in the bathroom, shift him to the pot. See, this gradual change, stepwise change is easier to achieve. And once you have achieved the fact that he sits on the pot, the third step in potty training is the timing. So the third most important part is the timing, which is what we call potty schedule. See, a lot of times the child may not get an urge in the morning, but still make it a habit that he gets up in the morning. Okay, he gets up well in advance of his timing. Like I told in the last talk, it should not be that he has a 7 o'clock school bus timing and is getting up at 6:30, 6:45. No, that won't do. If you want your child to be toilet trained, you have to work with him and you have to work equally hard. So you have to get up with him at 6 o'clock. Make sure he drinks something. See, there is something known as a gastrocolic reflex. The moment something enters the stomach, especially in the morning, it will stimulate your colon to start moving. That's the reason why we had this old habit of either having water or tea in the morning, and that's how most of us will get our urge in the morning. So that's the next thing to do. Make sure he gets up. He can have anything that he wants. If he doesn't like milk in the morning, is not hungry, he can just have plain water. It need not be warm, it need not be cold, it can be just the way he wants it, as long as something little quantity goes into his stomach and stimulates his system to start working. Now after about 10 minutes of that, make him go and sit on the pot. You'll be surprised the number of time he actually passes motion without even telling you that I've got a reflex. See, our body has something known as a conditioned reflex. Defecation early morning is a conditioned reflex that needs to be developed. Getting an urge is involuntary. Yes, at some point of the time you're going to get an urge. But the point is to get that urge early morning. And for that you have to condition your body, train your body. And the best way to do that is create an environment where the body knows that, okay, I am on the pot and I need to defecate. Maybe for the first 5-7 days he may not pass motion, but let him sit on the pot for 10 minutes. Stand there with him in the toilet. Let him pass. Keep talking to him. Keep him engaged. Let him pass motion if he does. Encourage him to strain a little bit. And that's how you get them into the habit. Slowly his body will get conditioned and he will start passing motion in the morning. Like I said in the last talk, early morning evacuation is the best defense or preventive strategy against constipation. Once he develops that habit of early morning evacuation, if he has a second evacuation in the daytime sometime, well and good for us, why not? But that early morning potty habit and evacuation is the most important part. And that's how you train a child. It's a stepwise process. It takes time, it takes patience. No child gets potty trained in 1 month or 2 months. It takes 3 months to 6 months. Key being having patience, not forcing them, not coercing them, not shouting at them, but suggesting them. Let him feel that he is in control of this. And trust me, you will find good results. That's all for this. If you have any questions or comments, please mention it below and I will try to answer them if possible in any other session. Part 3, I'll be dealing with diet. What kind of diet, what to eat, what should be the eating timings, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.